everyone, Emily here from Emily Reads, and today I have my August 2023 wrap up. So I have to say I don't have a lot of books to show, in part because it's August, back to school for me, which meant I went in, I had to unpack my room, sip days, get started with school, first day back. Also because I did read, just so you have some monthly stats, I did read 8 books for 2,862 pages. So you might be thinking, what do you mean you don't have much to show for it? Most of the books that I read were either books that I checked out from the library and I've already returned, ebooks, I might have listened to them, they were rereads. And then I do have 3 books that I read, 3 physical books that I can show you, one I actually listened to, and then 1 book that I started but did not finish. The average rating was 3.8. So I'm looking obviously at my computer at my spreadsheet so I can see what did I rate things, because I just don't remember. Also, I am terrible at remembering names. I'm terrible when it comes to meeting people in person, remembering their names. I'm terrible when it comes to books. So I can remember plot lines. I cannot remember names. So you might just hear me say main female character, main male character. This month I just kind of really struggled with reading books. I needed light fluff. I needed lighter books. And so I read all romance. In fact, I read 1 fantasy book, and that was a fantasy romance. I did give into the hype, but let's begin. So first off, I did read Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center, and this one was kind of like a make it or break it for me book, meaning I read a bunch of her books in July and did not care for really any of them. So I did not go into it with high expectations, but I wanted to read it because I knew that Netflix had the movie coming out, and I really enjoyed Happiness for Beginners. I gave it 4.5 stars. I cried reading this book. I just really felt for the main female character, just all of the things that she just kept facing. I liked the fact that she was older and dealing with like in her mid-30s and dealing with, okay, where do I go from here? And how she came into herself and just how she discovered herself on that wilderness trip, but other people weren't seeing that and didn't value her. It broke my heart. But I did really love that one. Then I read Long Time Coming by Sandra Brown. I checked this out. I read it for the Tropical Readathon. I needed something quick and light. And this one was, so the main female character meets up with the main male character about 16 years later after they first meet. So they first meet, she's 14, her older sister is 17, and he is about to go study at the Naval Academy one summer, and he actually sees her sister becomes pregnant, and they meet several years later because she is now raising her sister's child, and he receives letters that he has this child and he's going to be exposed, and he's a famous astronaut. And so they meet. Of course, it's a romance. I enjoyed it. Of all the shorter Sandra Browns that I read, I gave it 3 stars because I felt like he actually was a somewhat decent male character, whereas the other male characters in her shorter romances that I've read this year, I thought how they treated the female main characters was pretty terrible. Then I read Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I gave it 3 stars. I might actually give it lower than that. I enjoyed the premise. The premise was super cute, where The main female character, she is an adult film star, and the main male character is like a former member of a boy band, and he has been caught doing several bad things. And so he's trying to rejuvenate his career and better himself and provide for his sister and for his mom. And she just needs a job. And they meet on set of like a Hallmark Hall of Fame kind of style movie, but no one is supposed to know like what her past is. So like I enjoyed the premise. I just didn't enjoy how from like the moment that they meet, it's all about them wanting to jump each other's bones. And that was really the main discussion of their romance. And so for me, it wasn't terribly believable. Were they in lust? Of course. But love, I don't know. So that's why it was kind of disappointing for me. I really wanted to enjoy it. I thought the premise was adorable. And like, that's kind of like something I would love to see made into a movie. I think it would be absolutely adorable into a movie. But there's just too much other things. Then I read Role Playing. This was on Kindle Unlimited. I read Role Playing by Kathy Yardley, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Again, it angers me that I cannot remember names, and I don't have notes. I just have what I've read in my spreadsheet, so I apologize. So here's what I loved about it. So our main female character, she is 48, and our main male character is 50. And he is a nurse, and he used to run a hospice facility with a friend, and he sold out his shares to move back home to help take care of his mother who's aging and is not wanting to face the fact that she's aging. And she is a single mom. Her son is, I can't remember if he's about to go to college. Yes, her son's about to go to college. She's a single mom. She went through a bitter divorce. And so the main female character and the main male character, they meet online. And the role playing doesn't refer to anything kinky. It refers to the fact that they meet online with role-playing games, like a video RPG game. And they both think that each other is something that they're not. Like, she originally thinks that he's her son's age. He thinks that he's his mom's age because of how they get the connection to join this role-playing game. What I loved about this book, one, their interactions with each other. I just thought it was a mature, respectful, wonderful relationship that they have with each other. But I also really appreciated the fact that we have a romance between older people. And most romances do not focus on older people. It's usually people who are younger, in their 20s, mid-20s, but not someone in later, like in their upper 40s, early 50s. And so I appreciated that, and also just the things and the challenges that they face as they are older and also navigating relationships. So I greatly appreciated that. Then the next book that I read, I totally gave into the hype, and I read Fourth Wing, and I loved it. I did give it, I don't know why I only gave it 4.5 stars. I should probably bump this up to 4 stars. I did love this book. It was what I needed when I needed it. I needed something enjoyable. I needed something predictable. If you like tropes, like, you're going to love this book because it has all of the tropes. It reads like and for that, it does read like a YA book, but is not a YA book. For sure, as you probably know, there is adult content. I'll be honest and say that when I started reading this, I was like, this reminds me of Divergent. It really did. Just how the Dragon Riders are the Dauntless faction, and she's Triss, and there is a main male character here. that reminded me of 4 and all of those tropes around that. And so, but I needed something fast paced. I needed something light. I just needed something predictable, and it was all those things. There was a twist that I was not really expecting. I was like, whoa, with the ending. I'm a little nervous about that. I love the dragons. 2 specifically that I cannot say. And yes, by page 150, I was like, I'm going to be pre-ordering book 2. And I did. I sadly don't have the pretty sprayed edges one. I did buy this. I kind of held off because I was like, I don't know. And finally, I just caved and bought it. I do wish that I had gotten the edition with the sprayed edges. I do wish I had bought it earlier, but again, I wasn't sure about it. And so I was kind of waiting. I wish I hadn't waited because the sprayed edges are really, really pretty. And now they're selling on Pango Books for ridiculous amounts of money that I will not pay, but whatever. So I think if you go into this knowing it's going to be very tropey and don't take it seriously, I think you're going to enjoy it. I went in going, I'm probably not going to like this. And I loved it. I thought it was wonderful. So I think if you go in with the right expectations, I think that will help with your enjoyment of this book. The next book I read is A Lady Never Surrenders by Sabrina Jeffries. I told you this month was all romance. This one is actually, I think, the 4th or 5th books in a series. It's the series of called The Hellions of Halstead Hall. And so I have not read the other books. I got this for free. My library has like a book cart where you can take free books that they're just not going to sell in their perpetual use book sale. So I got this for free. Didn't realize it was the 4th or 5th book in a series, but it can also kind of be read like standalone. And so this centers around Celia, and her grandmother has issued an ultimatum to her siblings. Basically, the ultimatum is you must marry within like a year in order to receive your inheritance. And with Celia, because she's kind of like the last one, she was basically like, you, Celia, have to marry, otherwise no one will get their inheritance. And so she hires this Bow Street runner, Jackson Pinter, to investigate 3 different men who she's kind of has said, I think these are 3 men who would be prospective grooms. And she knows this Bow Street runner because her parents died under kind of scandalous circumstances. So, and I think like he probably like investigated some things for her siblings in other books that I don't know about. It kind of is alluded to, but I don't know 100% all of that story. But she kind of remembers she was very young when her parents died. So the story is that her mother killed her father and then killed herself. And I'm not giving anything away. But the reason why her mother killed her father is her mother found out that her father was having an affair. So she killed the father and then she killed herself. And so the book starts off where Celia kind of remembers like a dream, and she was wondering if that has anything to do with her parents' deaths. So not only does she hire the Bow Street runner to investigate these 3 men that she might decide to marry in order to fulfill her grandmother's ultimatum, she also hires Jackson in order to investigate what happened with her parents' death. I did enjoy it. I liked the fact that Celia is an unconventional woman for this time period. Like, she's interested in hunting and shooting, and no one kind of looks down on her for that. They just kind of invite her along and let her do her thing. So I appreciated that. And then I read, and this is on ebook, I read Recollection by Noelle Adams. And this book, our main female character, the book starts off, she was working for the main male character. She was helping, he's inherited this family estate and has this extensive library. And she's been working in his library, cataloging his books. And she falls off a ladder cataloging those books, and she wakes up in the hospital and she cannot remember the last 6 months. The only thing that she can remember, she does remember, she was in a car accident with her father. Her father had like stolen money, I believe. And so she had run away with her father, which I don't know how she did not face legal consequences, but there it is. But she was in a car accident with her father. I think her father died. She did not, at any rate, that's really all that she remembers. She doesn't remember the 6 months from the car accident to when she fell in the library. And it is a romance, and I did really enjoy it. It's dual timeline, so you get what happens after she wakes up in the hospital with her amnesia. So you get from that point forward, and then you get from when she first starts working for the main male character up to when she falls off the ladder. Really did enjoy that book. And then finally, I have the hard copy because I own it, but I listened to The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood. So that was a reread for me. And I gave it 4.5 stars again. I liked the narrator. How she does Adam's voice is a little kind of odd. But I did really enjoy the book. Again, it made me angry in certain spots all over again. It made me delighted all over again. And it made me go, can you just communicate with each other all over again? I do really enjoy Ellie Hazelwood. And I do like how she talks about issues and things that are happening in the STEM world. And then finally, and 2 books, one that I started but I have not finished. One is The Prior of the Orange Tree. It's buried under a pile of books. I just didn't feel like digging it out. I read about 350 or so pages, and I'm not really feeling it. I really only like 2 characters. I like Ed, I don't know how to pronounce her name. And even her, I'm kind of like beginning to not like her. And I like the one, I can't remember her name for the life of me. This is not a good sign when you can't remember names. The one who is in the dragon writing training. But even that really annoys me because I want more of that. Like I like a good trading story, and we get like 2 pages and then 50 pages of other things, and then 2 pages of that, and then 50 pages. So I wish that point of view was developed more. And then the other characters I just don't really care for all that much. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that book. And it hurts because I started annotating, like underlining and tabbing, and I don't know what to do. Because right now it's like maybe a 3-star, and I don't want to read over 800 pages of 3-star. And then what do I do with the book? I don't know. And then I also started in August. I did start Bands of Mourning, and I'm on page 324. So I should finish this weekend. I'm filming this on the Sunday of Labor Day weekend here in the States. And I'm really enjoying it. I really am liking Steris. Like, I really like her a lot, finally. And there is a character in here that I'm like, ooh, I'm really hoping that's a development for Marasai. But at any rate, so it just continues the things that were started in Alloy of Law. And I love Wax and Wayne. I don't know why people, there are some who think that Mistborn Era 2 isn't as good as Mistborn Era 1. Mistborn Era 1, I feel like, is more dense than Mistborn Era 2. Although these do still have pretty dense themes. But I also just like the lightheartedness that Wayne brings and that some of the other characters bring. It just is fun. So I'm looking forward to finishing this. And then I need to read some short stories in Arcanum Unbounded and Edge Dancer before I then can tackle Oathbringer. At any rate, that's what I read in August. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've read Prior of the Orange Tree. Let me know your thoughts. Keep them spoiler free, and give me some ideas on what I should do with Prior of the Orange Tree. Because I can't really put it on my Panko bookstore. I've annotated it, so I don't know what to do. At any rate, happy reading. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Bye.